Okay, my name is Scott Harper. The date you'll be viewing this should be December 11th, 2008. This is my final presentation, my interview with an author for French 290 at Cal State San Bernardino with Professor McGuire. I chose to interview Voltaire and do a review about his book, Candide. I, in turn, conned my friend RJ into playing the role of Voltaire for this project. I hope you enjoy or at least get a laugh out of it. I want to apologize for the grainy film, and that's because the camera that I'm using is 15 years old, and I don't intend on replacing it. But what the heck, you'll get the picture. So let's go ahead, have a little bit of fun, and I'll see you in class. Welcome to The Chat. In this segment, we're going to be talking with a very well-known French artist. He's a poet and an author, Francois-Marie Arnett. Arnett.
Is a common mistake with Americans.
Please forgive me on that. He was one of the Enlightenment thinkers of his day. Please welcome Voltaire. Voltaire, thank you for joining us here today. I know you've made an impossible trip to be here.
Thank you very much, Scott. I miss being on this side. I was rather pleased when I received your request.
I'm glad you could get here. Should we call you Francois, or do you prefer Voltaire?
Merci. Again, Voltaire is fine.
Alright, Voltaire it is then. So tell us a little bit about yourself. When and where were you born?
I was born in Paris on the 17th of November, 1694.
So since you were born in Paris, is it safe to assume that that's where you grew up and where you went to school?
Oui. I was educated by the Jesuit, and I attended the college Louis Le Grand.
And what did you study while you were at the college of Louis Le Grand?
Well, as a young man, my father wanted me to study law, a field in which I am not very fond of. I was more interested in abstract thinking. I wanted to become a writer. So I pretended to work as a law clerk for a lawyer in Paris, but what my father did not know was that I was actually writing my poetry.
So did your father ever find out that while you were down in Paris, you weren't actually working as a law clerk?
Oui. He did, and he was rather furious.
He was really furious about it? Well, what happened when he found out that you weren't, in fact, practicing or studying law and that you were actually doing your writings?
He insisted that I studied to become a lawyer, and he sent me off to law school in the Providence. However, I continued to write.
Okay. Now, I also understand that you had a sweetheart named Catherine. Can you tell us about her, or tell us how you met?
Catherine? Catherine. Mon chéri. Oui. After my father secured me a job as a secretary to a French ambassador in the Netherlands, I met Catherine as a refugee there. Yes.
We really appreciate you allowing us to pry into your life and you sharing a little bit about yourself with us. But let's go ahead and let's talk about your book, Candide. Voltaire, how did you come up with Candide?
Well, as you know, we were in the middle of the 7-year war. There was much unrest in France as well as the rest of Europe at the time. Then there were the philosophers, like Monsieur Leibniz. Oh, he pisses me off, mon Dieu. The philosophy of Monsieur Leibniz is tout est poil le mieux dans le meilleur des mondes possible. Or in the English is all is fair is the best in the best of all possible worlds. And trying to adjust that philosophy after the Lisbon earthquake was just absurd. So I wrote the book. I wrote the book to tell just how absurd this philosophy actually was.
Tell us a little bit more about the story.
This novel is about a young naive man named Candide who lives a sheltered life in an Edenic paradise. His tutor, Pangloss, is teaching him the philosophies of Leibniz. Then Candide gets cast out from his paradise and is forced to experience the truth of the hardship of this world.
Okay, so you're telling us that Candide gets cast out of his paradise and that he's going to have to experience the truth of the hardships of this world. What are some of those hardships, or what are some of the adventures that Candide is going to experience through this book?
Well, along his journey, Candide becomes enslaved and gets whipped and beaten. He is forced to murder a number of people. He finds love and loses love. He, of course, finds love again. Finds that his home was ransacked and that all the occupants were killed. Then learns that his tutor, Pangloss, was still alive, so he frees his enslaved tutor to find that his tutor is, well, how do you say, still rather stupid. After all that both of them have experienced, the damn tutor still believes in the best of all possible worlds.
Well, I know our time is running short and you're dying to get out of here, but I want to tell you, Voltaire, that is an absolutely fantastic book, and I know that anybody who reads it is really going to enjoy it.
Merci, Monsieur Scott. You honor me.
Voltaire, may I ask you one last question before I let you go?
Absolument.
Voltaire, I noticed something rather puzzling during this interview with you.
Qu'est-ce que ça, monsieur?
I was wondering if you realized it or not, that you've been dead for over 200 years.